Hi there, Ed Kang here, creator of MDNA. You scored EIA, which stands for Empowering Inspiration and Attraction. I'm going to overview your gift right now, but before we do, just wanted to make sure I bring up the fact that MDNA is all about your intrinsic motivational spectrum. This means both your gifts are really important. You should be taking a look at both of them. That's the reason we give you two results, so that you can get a full picture of who you are, what you're all about, how come you do the things that you do, your purpose, passions, and potential, all that good stuff. Now, in another video, I'm going to be overviewing how you can be left brain EIA or right brain, but that's for another time. So let's dive right in. EIA, got my handy cheat sheet here. EIA, Empowering Inspiration and Attraction. It's pretty much what it says. You are intrinsically motivated to empower, inspire, and attract people. This means when it comes to your purpose, you're designed to have influence and persuasion across networks. You're an influencer and you're very persuasive. You can take the social spotlight across barriers. You're a broad visionary, seeing opportunities across connections. You attract so many people that across all those connections, there's lots of opportunities that you see. You're fearless and flexible. EIAs have no problems in adjusting the plan or you going with the flow, etc. And you're a connector. Remember, you attract people, you really like to connect. EIAs always have this ability to know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy. Their Rolodex is so deep. And so for me, when I want to find someone or say, do you know somebody? I always ask an EIA because they always say, yeah, I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy. It's pretty hilarious and very useful. When it comes to your passions, you're passionate about maintaining social connections regardless of cost and diversity. So no matter how much time or energy or cost that it takes, you have this ability to maintain your relationships, especially in diverse situations. This makes you an expert communicator, and you're very attuned to the opinions and positions of others. EIAs have this ability to just know where the group is at, whether everybody's on the same page. This means you're engaging and entertaining. A lot of people say EIAs are like parties waiting to happen. I can attest to that. Say you're at a party and there's a group of people from all different backgrounds and suddenly the conversation dies. An EIA would have no problems taking that social spotlight, getting the conversation going, and getting everybody else engaged and involved. So that's what we mean there. Another really great thing about teams and culture is that you can disagree without being relationally alienated. So EIAs have no problems with you having a different opinion or disagreement as long as that relationship and the connection is there. Now, when it comes to potential, your potential is all about encouraging groups towards a vision and achievement. So you can work with groups. Dare I say, EIAs are all about movements. Whenever you see a movement happening, it's typically because of an EIA has sparked it. EIAs, to reach their full potential, require real-time feedback. EIAs prefer to have a live audience or to have eye contact or be able to see facial expressions when working with people so they get that real-time feedback. This means you have a consistently positive attitude, which is really great, and you're easy to communicate with and connect with. So easy to communicate and connect. And your social graph, like we talked about, can be like a sounding board for collaboration. So you have no problems working with groups to facilitate everybody working together to come up with a solution. I like to use the word woo. You have the ability to woo groups into that vision and achievement and so forth. Now that's a synchronized EIA, when everything is clicking. A desynchronized EIA, what they have to watch out for is you can get tempted to lead superficially based upon social connections and popular opinion rather than principles. So it becomes about getting people to like each other and like you versus sometimes going to that principle or the truth, the basic fundamentals of something and risking people not liking you. And so that's where some temptations can occur when leading groups. Now, EIAs can suffer from what I call the tyranny of the urgent. This occurs when you've attracted so many people, so much opportunity in your life that you try and pack it all in and you get so busy that there's this tyranny of urgency always on your life. You're always stretched so thin and because of people. And that can really, really thwart you in terms of what you're all about and your effectiveness, because if one thing goes off, then everything kind of derails like a train. So that's what the tyranny of the urgent is all about. Now, this isn't a good or bad thing, depending on how you look at it, but EIAs can become crisis managers, always in a consistent state of crisis management. Now, in some cases, this works great because if you're managing somebody else's crisis, an EIA really comes in handy. But when it's your own crisis and you're always trying to manage that tyranny of the urgent that's creating a crisis, well, that can become really tiring. This means that social circles around you can burn out. So that's one of the issues that you can face, is that people around you get really tired of that crisis management and always full of energy. And yes, it's really great, but people can say, okay, enough opportunity, enough connecting, etc. We've got other things to do. And what happens is an EIA may revert to spinning or finessing relationships. And that's when you sort of make up excuses, or you say, oh, we really didn't mean this, or that wasn't our intention, or it's all right, and ignoring the things that people really want, and you try and finesse a relationship. This is the reason EIAs can avoid being alone, because it's all about people, and there can be this denial of reality. So everybody else might be saying, this is not going to work, or we're having an issue with this, and EIAs, because they want people to like them, can kind of look over that and say, hey, let's all continue to get along. Now, when an EIA starts a company or an organization, their intrinsic motivation imprints a brand culture of social experience. A social experience company or organization or group or what have you is all about just that, creating a great social experience and attracting groups of people. So it's not surprising to see EIAs with very large social media accounts and really putting out big messages and communicating to the masses. And we don't have time to go into the brand culture part, but just so you know, your intrinsic motivation does imprint on the brand culture of an organization. So that's the EIA for you. And yeah, hope that works for you in this moment, and look forward to sharing more with you later.